I wanted to start this.
Years. Okay, dis die eerste en laaste.
I had this amazing opening that I had in mind to say, hey, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be traveling to Oudtshoorn and go hunt a bunch of feather baron palaces.
Yes.
And then just before I start talking, she says, don't introduce me. How am I supposed not to introduce? Tanya, welcome.
Thank you. I'm the original ostrich person. Yes. I don't look like one, but...
You can see that this is going to be fun. We're going to be picking up Ezette, that's my new tour guide best friend. And we're going to be traveling in this beautiful bus. We're going to show you more of the bus. And we're going to have a couple of people join us. So you also join us as we go travel Oudtshoorn. This is Ezette. Ezette, say hello. So she's taking us to Oudtshoorn, and this is the crew. Everybody say hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. So let's go. In this valley you will find hops. Hops are a flower that grows on the hop plant. They are used primarily as a bittering, flavoring and stability agent in beer, to which, in addition to bitterness, they impart floral, fruity and citrus flavors and aromas. Hops are also used for various purposes in other beverages and herbal medicine, and are grown in a valley just above George on our route. We just arrived here in Oudtshoorn at the Cape Karoo Ostrich Emporium. We're going to have a coffee here. And we're in George. It was quite hot. It is actually very cold on this side. So now everybody is jumping for their jackets. And I'm not sure if I actually brought a jacket. What we basically did was have some coffee and decide where we're going to go around town, because at 12 today we've got a meeting with one of the Feather Baron Palaces owners, guest house thing that's happening. So we are first going to go to the museum and check out to get some history in the museum, and then we're going to drive around and then make sure that at 12 o'clock we are at one of these palaces to show you what it looks like. Whether or not we're gonna not freeze and get wet today, because it seems like the weather is becoming darker. That's to be seen, but who's scared? Let's do it. We are here at the CP Nel Museum, and this is all about the history of Oudtshoorn. These buildings were basically the Afrikaans high school for boys, and that was roundabout established 1881, give or take. And today it's the museum here in Oudtshoorn. The CP Nel Museum in Oudtshoorn houses exhibits depicting the role of the ostrich trade in the town's history, as well as the cultural history and lifestyle of the people in the Klein Karoo region, as it was during the Victorian era and early 20th century. very fascinating to see the skeleton of an ostrich, as they usually have a lot of skin and feathers. Okay, so now this is so typical. We didn't even start filming here at the museum, and we met up with the creator. How do you say that? That one. Okay, we met up with a boss man, and he can actually take us to this one house. Which house are we going to? Laro house. So that's where we're going now. This is a quick drive. Wow, would you look at these beautiful buildings? In 1909, a farmer called Mr. Laro had an attractive sandstone townhouse built for him and his family. This townhouse was designed by one of Oudtshoorn's best-known architects with the most modern innovations and built with the best of imported and local materials. Oh yeah, it's kind of beautiful, and old.
Absolutely. No, it's fascinating. The history, the amazing handiwork that went into the glasswork.
Yeah. Because the glasswork in here is all original.
Yes.
And by hand.
Yes. Stained glass, original, handmade. Yes.
Have a look at this. The house was declared a national monument in 1980, and after costly renovations opened as a townhouse museum. Furniture from this period was bought to approximate the original furnishings of the family. This part of town is filled with all these beautiful old sandstone houses. So cool. And the insides, most of the time, are very old. The problem is they cannot fix anything as they wish to do because it's heritage sites. So there's a whole procedure to do it, which sometimes causes them to not be able to fix a lot of it. But as we're traveling, look at this church behind me. Oh, and more houses. It's just, this whole town is filled with all these beautiful sandstone houses. In the second part of this outing, we finish our visit to the museum and then traveled out to a farm where one of these ostrich palaces were built.